For many viewers outside the UK, Downton Abbey is the ultimate British TV show, especially when it comes to actually learning about the country and its culture. Julian Fellowes' 2010 to 2015 period drama, with its grand estates, aristocratic family, and intricate social hierarchy, paints a lavish picture of early 20th century Britain. However, while educational in its way, there's a better option for Anglophiles who want a show that captures the UK as it truly is: Coronation Street, or, as we call it here in the UK, Corrie. For fans of British TV who want to understand the UK, Downton Abbey is an adequate teacher, but it's not the best. That honour belongs to Coronation Street, the long-running British soap opera that has been airing since 1960. Unlike Downton Abbey, which explores a world that existed over a century ago, Coronation Street is a contemporary, ongoing series that reflects modern Britain as I, an actual British person living in the UK, know it. And, since it's been on the air for over 50 years, it's captured a phenomenal amount of history and its impact on the UK. While Downton Abbey presents an idealised and often romanticised past, which, as a UK citizen, I can't relate to, Coronation Street delivers an authentic, evolving depiction of working-class life. From social issues to family struggles, from local politics to national crises, Coronation Street provides a window into the UK that is more accurate, relatable, and insightful than anything Downton Abbey could offer. Coronation Street gives a better perspective of British history. The soap beats the historical drama at its own game. It's easy to assume that a period drama like Downton Abbey would be a better resource for learning about British history, given that it is explicitly set in the past and follows real historical events. However, I'd always recommend Corrie over Downton to anyone who wants to learn about how Britain changed during the 20th century. Coronation Street is actually far more effective at providing a long-term, evolving perspective on the modern history of the UK than Downton Abbey. This is because the soap opera has been on the air for over 6 decades, chronicling real events as they happened and showing their impact on everyday British citizens. Since its debut in 1960, Coronation Street has tackled major historical moments that shaped the UK. The show has explored events such as the miners' strikes of the 1980s, the rise and fall of Margaret Thatcher, the effects of the 2008 financial crisis, and even Brexit. These were not background elements or historical footnotes, they were woven into the lives of the characters, affecting their jobs, relationships, and futures in the same way they affected real people living in the UK at the time. In contrast, Downton Abbey offers a much narrower view of history. While Downton does touch on significant events, the sinking of the Titanic, World War I, the Spanish flu pandemic, and the decline of the British aristocracy, it does so through the lens of a wealthy, land-owning family who are largely insulated from the struggles of ordinary people. The characters of Downton Abbey experience historical events, but they do so from a position of privilege that does not reflect the experiences of most British people at the time. What's more, the events covered continue to shape UK society, but they aren't the most impactful. The last time the sinking of the Titanic was truly relevant to UK life was in 1997, when James Cameron's Titanic was on almost every cinema screen. The First World War was also, of course, impactful, but nowhere near as much as the Second. It took the UK decades to recover from WW2, and the earliest seasons of Coronation Street take place during the post-war period which shaped the country I grew up and still live in. Because Coronation Street has spanned generations, it also provides a sense of historical continuity. Viewers can follow families over decades, watching how different political and economic shifts affect them. This intergenerational storytelling of Coronation Street offers a much richer and more personal perspective on British history than the neatly packaged, aristocratic narratives of Downton Abbey. Coronation Street portrays a more authentic UK community than Downton Abbey. The way of life in Downton hasn't existed for decades. The Rovers return pub from Coronation Street. Community may be at the heart of both shows, but Coronation Street is a better teacher of British culture and communities than Downton Abbey. The fictional neighbourhood of Weatherfield, where Coronation Street takes place, is a working-class area that closely resembles countless real towns and communities across the UK. It captures the feel of a tight-knit, urban environment where everyone knows each other, for better or worse. In contrast, Downton Abbey takes place in a grand estate in the English countryside, which is a far cry from how most British people live. While picturesque, Downton Abbey represents a way of life that was already vanishing by the time the series takes place. Weatherfield, on the other hand, feels real. The houses are small, the characters deal with everyday concerns like rent and employment, and the local pub, the Rovers Return, is the beating heart of the community. Much like real pubs in the UK, the interactions in Coronation Street reflect how people in small British towns actually live. Neighbours argue over parking spaces, gossip at the corner shop, and rally together in times of crisis. I know nobody remotely like any Downton Abbey characters, but the residents of Weatherfield all remind me of someone I know from my local community. It's a place where class divisions exist, but they are subtle and fluid, unlike the rigid upstairs-downstairs divide of Downton Abbey. While Downton focuses on the interplay between the wealthy Crawleys and their servants, Coronation Street presents a more horizontal society, where people from different backgrounds live side by side and share common struggles, in other words, the way the UK truly is. Downton Abbey doesn't explore class as well as Coronation Street. Upstairs-downstairs is far too simplistic. The downstairs staff in Downton Abbey. Social class is a fundamental aspect of society in the UK, just as much now as it was in the early 20th century, and both Downton Abbey and Coronation Street engage with the theme in different ways. While it's not as direct as it was during the time of Downton Abbey, it continues to shape the culture of Britain. Any fans of UK TV who want to truly understand why my country is the way that it is need to understand the impact of class, really, as it shapes almost everything. This is where, once again, Corrie is my go-to recommendation, since Coronation Street offers a much more nuanced and relevant portrayal of class in modern Britain. Downton Abbey revolves around the aristocracy and their servants, presenting a very traditional depiction of class division. While Downton does touch on social change, particularly with the decline of the landed gentry, it still romanticizes the idea of nobility. The Crawleys are presented as benevolent, fair-minded employers, and even the servants seem content with their lot, with only the occasional character challenging the social order. Coronation Street,